I understand that you're familiar with Philip van Praag's Pruszynski analysis, and I'd like to start by asking you for basically your reaction to that analysis.
Well, I followed it, and I'm quite impressed with the work that they've done. Everything that I've seen and heard about their work. I've read the book that they've produced as well, and I'm very pleased with this revelation and with the quality of that work.
It appears that what Robert Joling and Philip van Praag are implying is that their evidence shows conclusively that Sirhan Sirhan was wrongly convicted of the assassination of Robert Kennedy. I mean, how do you react to that?
Well, I think that's the conclusion that one inevitably has to draw from the forensics that are involved here.
But how strong, as far as evidence goes, is that?
I think it's quite strong. They have identified the number of shots fired as being 13, from what I understand. They have calibrated very carefully the acoustical differences between the firing of two weapons, and that in itself is extraordinary. So that I think the scientific upshot of that is very powerful evidence.
Given that, then, is there any argument for a new trial for your client?
I would say that there really isn't. We'll be pressing very hard for a new trial. You know, there is a lot of other evidence also that has started to emerge that supports Sirhan's wrongful conviction in this case.
So you'd press for a new trial, but you're not necessarily that confident that you'd get one?
I think, Adrian, these cases, I've been involved in the King assassination case for over a quarter of a century, and what I've learned is that nothing is certain, and that justice is certainly not easily attainable, because the political fix sometimes is so strong that it is very difficult to overcome the predilection of an earlier established guilt. But we certainly will try to do everything that we can.
After so many years, I mean, Sirhan must have had numerous lawyers over the 40 years. What was it that prompted you to take on this case?
Well, I had discussed the case with his previous lawyer, Lawrence Teeter, off and on. Larry would consult with me on it, and so I kept somewhat fairly abreast of it. I didn't want to get involved in it because of the degree of time and energy that the King case had taken. But then Larry died of, as you may know, died of a heart attack, and the pressures came back again, and the requests from Sirhan and his brother came to me. So I took a very fresh look at all of the evidence, including statements of witnesses who placed him in front of Bob Kennedy, never closer than 3 to 5 feet from the front of the senator, and placed his hand down on the steam table after he fired the first 2 shots, so that the rest of the shots were just a mindless pulling of a trigger and ricocheting around the room. As I began to look at just that basic evidence, I came convinced that this was, in fact, was likely to be an easier case from an evidentiary standpoint than that of Martin King's assassination. But, you know, it may not be generally known, but as a much younger man, I was Bob Kennedy's Citizens Chairman when he first ran for the Senate in the state of New York. I was his Citizens Chairman in 1964. And I did not get involved in his presidential campaign because after Martin was killed, I had really had my fill of politics, and so I walked away. So I've had a lingering interest in this case, and a lingering connection with members and friends of the senator.
You touched upon it there, events in that kitchen. You concede then that your client was there and that he fired his gun. Take us through the scenario that you believe developed there. Why was he there, your client, with a gun, and why did he fire it?
Sirhan was hypno-programmed in months prior to the assassination. He does not remember at all why he was there and what he did and what happened there. There's an indication of that, of course, and it's been commented on by a number of people who have seen photographs of him after the arrest. I've spent nearly 3 hours with him not so long ago, and it's quite clear that he still does not recall. Now, he was told that he did this. He was told that he was guilty, and so he said, "They told me this. I don't remember it. I was there. I had a gun. I actually discharged the weapon." He fired 8 shots of that weapon, although 6 were fired when his hand was pinned to the steam table. So he said at the time, I guess I just assumed that I did it, and everyone told me that. And